Okay, so what I want to do for these next couple of videos uh, is I want to build out a form. So one of my code links has had some issues with something in the browser, trying to create from the browser and not able to do that. So what I would like to do in these next couple of videos is build out a form that you can fill in, and it would add an artist to uh, the artist table. That's what we're going to do. Since we've been working with the artists in particular and building upon that, we'll start with the artist. Okay, so let me share my screen. And so right now I'm in my server.js, and let's look at something in our package.json. We have included Axios, okay, which will allow us to do fetch calls from our routes, our URLs that we created. But for the form, we're actually going to need what? We're going to need EJS. So we don't have EJS as a dependency yet in this project. So we're going to go ahead and install that. So where are you, terminal? Where's my terminal? Oh, it's not open. Okay, here we go. Get that terminal back up. So I need to go cd desktop slash, and I need to go to my lessons folder, then node, then album app. Okay, and from there, here inside of album app, you see that I'm not running my application right now. Uh, so again, we're going to need EJS. So I'm going to do npm I EJS. All right. Now, again, when it comes to these view engines, if you want to use Pug or Mustache or Handlebars, um, I don't know what else is out there off the top of the head, but if you want to use some other view engine, that's perfectly fine. I'm just going to stick with the EJS right now. I have built something where I used uh, handlebars before, so I know how that works. I know how it looks. Pug, I think I probably just printed out hello, but and I know that mustache is close to handlebars, but I'm just a little more familiar with EJS, so that's why I use it. So now I've installed EJS. Come over here to my package.json. I can see that. Okay. So well, the first thing we need is we need to come over here to our server.js. Server.js, we need to let the server know that our view engine, we're going to use EJS. So we start here. Now that we have installed EJS as a node package, we're going to let the server know that, hey, we're going to use EJS as our engine. And so it doesn't really matter where you put it. I just tend to put mine here towards the bottom. That's just what I do. You don't have to. I mean, you can put it at the top if you want to. That's fine as well. I'm just going to put it down here. So I'm going to say server.use view engine, comma, EJS. And that's all we have to do here to just say, hey, I'm using EJS as my view engine. All right. Let me put a period there. It's like those ellipses thing. It's like, are you sure? I'm not certain. Waiting on somebody to respond. No, I'm using EJS as my view engine. That'd be definitive about that. All right, cool. So we got that server.use View Engine EJS. And so anytime we use EJS or any other, again, we need to make a views folder, and we'll also create a public folder because I'm going to add CSS to this project as well, just to do some heavy lifting styling for me. Not because I'm trying to do like a whole lot of stuff. Okay. I'm not, but I'm going to have I'll have a CSS folder so I could do, well, I'm going to use Bootstrap to do the heavy lifting, and my CSS file will just do some minor styling. Okay. But the focus again is not on the styling or anything. It's like how we can build out our API. And we've done a lot. Let me tell you, if you have gotten this far with me, whether or not you understand it, if you have gotten this far with me, trust me, you have done a lot of work. You've done a lot of work, and you have built something that is very scalable. Okay. So while we only have what 4 tables here, this could be applied for 400 tables, or multiple amounts of routes or whatever. We can scale this out or up as we need to based off what we have. So I want you to pat yourself on the back if you've gotten this far with me. Okay. And this is what, the 12th, 13th video. We've done quite a bit. All right. So yeah. So now what I need to do is I need to add, we're going to add a public folder and a views folder. So I come back over here to my terminal. You can do it inside of Visual Studio Code. It will be out in this space, but I like to do it in here, so I make sure it's right where I want it to be. I'll say make dir public and views, because it's happening inside of my root folder. So I got made my public and views. Inside of my views, I need 2 folders, one called pages, one called partial. I'm say make dir views / pages and views / partials. All right. And if you've gotten that far, this is a good starting place. So here's my views folder. There's my public folder. Inside my public folder, I'm going to make a CSS folder. And inside of CSS, I'm going to make my style sheet, my style.css. Okay. So all that is inside of public. You can see it right there. And again, if you need to, pause the video to catch this stuff and then move along afterwards. Here's my views with my pages and my partials. Inside of pages, I'm going to make a home.ejs file. And I'm also going to make, inside of pages, I'm going to make artist-form.ejs, because this is where my form is going to be. So artist form.ejs. Let me put it over a little bit so you can see. There it is right there, artist form.ejs. So let's start our, and let's do one more. We'll make a, I'll just call it error.ejs. So I have an artist form.ejs, an error.ejs, and a home.ejs. All right. Cool. So now what we want to do is we're going to start on our home.ejs. So make sure you are in home.ejs after all that maneuvering and stuff that we just did. And we're going to start this up again. HTML:5 to build out a HTML5 template or boilerplate, if you will. And in here, I'm going to say, instead of document, I'm going to put the title right there. Here inside of body, I'm going to make a header element. So header with the class header, ID of header. And in here, inside of the header, I'm going to put in H1, give it a class. I'll say H1 heading, and I'll give it a class display -1. And I'm going to say in here, name. We'll start there. We're going to add some stuff later. I'm going to do a main element with the main class. So .main, #main. And right in here, inside of main, I'm going to make a, I'll do a, I'll do a container. So .container. And inside that container, I'll just make an H2 right here, and I'll just put main. Just something basic. This doesn't matter. And then below the main, I'm going to do a footer, class footer, ID of footer. And in there, I'm going to put a container. So .container. And then I'm going to put my little qualifier here, but you can just add whatever you want. This is me kind of like my branding, if you will. Okay. And just like we've done before, what I'm going to do, partials. Well, before we go there, yeah, let's have this set up and let's check it first. So I got my home.ejs set up. Okay. Now we need to create the route for it so that we can navigate to this particular page. Okay. Oh, that will happen inside of router.js. So let's go to router.js once you have all this set up. Okay. And again, pause the video if you need to. And so here, right now, we have a route that will take us to the API. In other words, http://localhost:3000/API. So in theory, what we could do is we could create another port and at the same time, one server will be hosting this stuff up here, and then the other server that will be displaying the view engine, if you will. I'm not going to do all that. We're not going to worry about that. But what I'm saying is, so we have a port 3001 with a, create a new server with the port 3001, start that one up. And then from that, build out our view engine with our pages, etc. We could do that. I don't want to worry about that because, again, that's not the focus of this lesson. I don't want to take anybody too far. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead up here. Okay. And so here inside the home page, I'm going to say router.get. And this is going to be the slash, takes a request and response. And then we're going to response.render pages/home, just like before. And then what are we going to render? We're going to render this object. We'll say the title is going to be, like say album app home. And then the name, I'll say my album app. You can put your own name, make it personal. I'll say Sessions album app, make it personal. Why not? Okay, so this is my home page, or in other words, This will take you to http://:3000. So 3000/API will take me to the root route for my API. Localhost 3000 will take me to 3000. Okay. So here, you should be able to come up here. Let me start up my server. Let me make another one because I'll probably be adding more stuff. So, we got an error. Did I forget something? Router. Wrong place. Let me see. Response.render. Page home. I did say. Yeah, I believe this instead of server. That's right. So back here in server.js, I always get that mixed. I believe that's server.set because we're setting the view engine. So server.set view engine to EJS. So let me change. This is my view engine. Back up and running now. Okay, good. So yes, so back in server for our view engine, we had to set the view engine to EJS, not use the view engine the EJS. Okay, so that's it. Cool. So now that that's up, now I should be able to come back over here, localhost 3000, and there we go. There's Satch's album app. Okay, cool. And so now we got that. Now I can copy and paste and move this stuff over into partials. In other words, I need to create a header and a footer.ejs. So here inside of partials, I'm going to create a header.ejs, and I'm going to create a footer.ejs. There we go. And it's notice that it's located inside of partials. So there it is. All right. Once I have that, I come back over here to home.ejs. Here I am in home.ejs. And everything from header on up, so the closing header tag on up, I'm going to cut it, paste it inside of header, like so. Come back to home.ejs, and everything from the opening footer element on down, I'm going to cut that, paste it here in footer, like so. And when you do that, and you come back to the browser, you should just have this up here. Okay. And then remember, what we need to do is we need to include. So we're going to include // partials / header. And then we're going to include / footer. And once you got that, let me put a little space there, just like a little. Okay, I like it like that. All right, once you got that, then refresh, and now it's back looking the way that we had it looking. Okay. And while I'm here in my browser, I'm going to go ahead and get Bootstrap. And I'm going to include the CDN. So come down here. As you can see, I'm going to copy and paste this inside of my header above the title. Okay, and I'm going to go back over here and copy this script and go to my footer, and right below the closing footer element, I'm going to paste that in there. Clean this up just a little bit. Oh, no. Yeah, let me do this. Well, I like my stuff looking a certain way. All right, come over here and refresh, and we should look like this now. Header. So I'm going to add text dash center to my H1, and that will center this. Again, for more work or more information on how to do all that kind of stuff, just sign up for my front end course. I start in January. Show you how to make boss moves on the front end. All right. Okay. So, and let's do the error page real quick, and then I think at that point we'll stop this video and start a new one because I want to focus on the form. Okay. So, I believe we already have a route for the errors. We did. We have our route already built for the errors. So what we're going to do is, instead of dot sending this 404 right here, we are going to render the error page. Okay, so let's build out the error page real quick, and then I will go from there. All right, so here I am at hero.ejs. I'm going to include my header as partials / header. Don't forget to close your EJS and include partial / footer, and do a main with a class main, ID of main. All right, and I'm going to add a little container in here. And again, you know, going with this front end stuff and way, you know, you're more than welcome to sign up to Mississippi Coding Academies at www.mscoding.org and sign up for the 6-month front end web development course, in which case I will be instructing that. If you want 6 months of the back end, sign up for the back end course where Jessica Hayes will be teaching back end web development. So yeah, here we are. I got this here, and what I want to do, I'm just going to be boring right here. I'm going to say, just going to make an H2. I'm going to give it a class text dash center, and just going to say 404 error page not found. It's going to be a little boring right now. Okay. But here's my setup for my page. Okay. Here we are. Once you get this right here, we're going to go to our router.js file. And so here we're saying router.use, take a request, response, and next. Response.status 404. And then instead of .send, I'm going to remove this, or I'll just comment this out. And what we're going to do is we're going to .render pages / and we're going to render title. I'll just say error page and then the name will be error. Matter of fact, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I'll just leave it like that. And so once you get here, you can test this out. Localhost 3000/foo, and there we get error 44 error, page not found. Cool. So that works. All right. So if you got this far, good. Congratulate yourselves. In the next video, we're going to focus on the form page, and where we will build out a form for the artist to be able to add an artist to our database, and then we will move on from there. Okay. So I will catch you on the other side of this video.